Imagine this. When you were younger, you probably believed that your closest friends and family would always be by your side. It felt natural, even certain. After all, they were the ones you laughed with, leaned on, trusted in moments of celebration and struggle. But then something happens quietly. As you enter your 60s and beyond, priorities shift. Life gets fuller for everyone, and the support system you once counted on begins to change shape. That's not to say love disappears or loyalty fades, but time, distance, and life's many turns have a way of pulling even the most familiar people into new directions. And suddenly, those calls come less frequently. Visits stretch further apart, and in moments when you need a shoulder, there's a chance it won't be there, not out of neglect, but out of life, just being life. That's why today's video on elderly active living is not about turning your back on family. It's about turning towards something even deeper. Your own power to build the kind of foundation that holds you steady no matter who is around. We're going to walk through 8 pillars that become more reliable than family as we grow older. 8 anchors that offer not just emotional reassurance, but real-world strength, peace of mind, and the freedom to live on your terms. If that idea feels a little surprising or even uncomfortable, stay with me. You might just discover something that reframes the way you look at support forever. Because here's the truth. Aging isn't about fading. It's about deepening your self-trust, your priorities, and your sense of purpose. And when you build your life on these 8 pillars, you won't just grow older, you'll grow bolder, more resilient, and more secure. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's begin with the first pillar that quietly but powerfully reshapes your future in ways family sometimes can't. Part 1. Your financial stability, the first pillar of real independence. Let's begin with one of the most powerful and underrated pillars of support. After 60, your own financial stability. Not your children's wallets, not promises from others. Just you and your ability to stand on your own 2 feet financially. Here's a truth that doesn't get said enough. Money doesn't solve every problem, but it solves more than we like to admit, especially after 60, when life can become unpredictable. Medical bills show up uninvited. Unexpected home repairs appear at the worst time. And if you're relying on your family to carry you through, you may find yourself not just disappointed, but stranded. Take Richard's story. He's 72. All his life, he supported his kids, paid for college, helped with down payments, was there whenever they needed something. And naturally, he believed when his time came, they'd return the favor. But when a medical crisis wiped out his savings, Richard turned to his children only to realize they couldn't help. Not because they didn't care, but because they were barely managing their own lives. Student loans, mortgages, their own children to raise. It was a wake-up call. Financial independence after 60 isn't about being wealthy, it's about being ready. Do you have enough for an emergency? Are your daily expenses manageable? Do you have a plan if your income stops tomorrow? If the answer is, I'm not sure, then now is the time to act. Start simple. Create a monthly budget. Cut back on non-essentials. Pay down debt, especially high-interest ones. Reconsider big expenses. And most importantly, protect your savings. That cushion is not just money, it's freedom. It's the ability to say no when pressured, to sleep peacefully at night, to navigate aging without fear. And if managing money feels overwhelming, you're not alone. There are free community resources, online budgeting tools, and financial counselors who specialize in helping seniors. Use them. Empower yourself. Because when it comes to aging, well, being financially grounded gives you power that no one can take away. Remember, we believe the strongest support you can build starts with you. And your finances? They're the foundation that everything else stands on. So take a moment, look at your numbers, make a plan, and begin today. If this message resonates with you, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Elderly Active Living, where we bring you the tools to not just grow older, but grow stronger. Part 2. Your physical health, the foundation you build for yourself. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you truly thanked your body? Not just looked in the mirror, but genuinely appreciated it. The legs that still carry you, the hands that still hold, the heart that still beats quietly every single day. Because here's the truth most people ignore. After 60, your greatest support system isn't a person. It's your health. And no one, no matter how much they love, you can give that to you. Only you can. Take Carl, for example. He was 68. A hard worker his whole life. Always on his feet. But after retirement, he thought, I've earned my rest. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. His body started to slow, his energy faded, his weight climbed, and even the stairs in his own home felt like mountains. His kids loved him, but they had jobs, children, lives of their own. They couldn't walk for him. They couldn't eat right for him. And they certainly couldn't stop time for him. That's when Carl decided, enough, I'm not done yet. He started walking daily, just around the block at first. He swapped processed food for fresh meals, scheduled checkups he had ignored for years. And the result? He felt alive again. Not young, but strong, capable, in control. See, your health is the foundation for everything else. Your independence, your joy, your ability to say yes to life, they all rest on how you care for your body. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need a six-pack. But you do need motion. You need food that fuels rather than drains. You need to listen to what your body is whispering. Because if you don't, someday it will start to scream. And here's something powerful. Every small step you take in the right direction still counts. Every glass of water, every morning walk, every gentle stretch, it all adds up. So ask yourself, am I treating my body like the lifelong partner it is? Or am I waiting for someone else to save me from the decline I could prevent? Your health is your silent guardian. And at Elderly Active Living, we believe in honoring that guardian every single day. If this resonates with you, if you've ever felt that quiet wake-up call, take action today. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. Let's build strength from within, together. Follow Elderly Active Living for more reminders that it's never too late to choose yourself. Not yesterday, not someday. Today, Part 3. Your social circle, the power of human connection. There's a silence that can creep in after 60. A quiet that's not just the absence of noise, but the absence of connection. Friends move away. Some pass on. Family gets busy. And little by little, your world can begin to shrink. You might not notice it at first. A week goes by with no phone calls. You skip an event you used to enjoy. Soon the days blur together and the silence starts to feel heavy. That's what happened to Margaret. She was 73. A loving mother, a retired nurse, always used to being surrounded by people. But once her kids moved out of state and her days slowed down, she began to feel alone in ways she'd never imagined. She told herself it was normal. She waited for visits, waited for calls, waited for someone to remember her. Until one day she got tired of waiting. She saw a flyer for a local seniors book club. She hesitated, but something inside nudged her. Just try it." She went, and something incredible happened. She laughed. She shared stories. She found herself again through others. Within months, Margaret had a routine: weekly meetups, coffee chats, new friends with fresh perspectives. The fog of loneliness began to lift. Because here's what most people don't realize: loneliness isn't just sad, it's dangerous. Studies show it can raise your risk of heart disease, depression, even early death. But you have the power to change that. You don't need a crowd. Even one meaningful connection can brighten your life. So here's what you can do. Smile at your neighbor. Say hello to the cashier. Join a walking group or community class. Reconnect with an old friend. Or try something new and meet someone unexpected. It's never too late to belong. It's never too late to be seen, heard, and valued. Your social circle is not a luxury. It's one of your strongest pillars of support. We're not just about movement and health. We're about community. We're about keeping hearts open and stories alive. So if you're listening to this and it hits home, reach out. Drop a comment. Tell us who still brings you joy. And if no one comes to mind, that's okay. Let this be your sign to start building something beautiful. Follow Elderly Active Living and share this message, because no one deserves to grow old alone. Part 4. Purpose, the quiet fire that keeps you going. It happens to so many of us. One day, you're busy, raising a family, going to work, being needed. And the next, it's quiet. No more clocking in. No one asking for your advice every day. And slowly, the roles that once gave your life shape and meaning begin to fade. That's where George found himself. He was 70, a retired engineer, smart, kind, with years of experience. He thought retirement would be freedom, but what he didn't expect was the emptiness. The days started blending. Sleep in, eat, watch TV, repeat. At first, it felt like a vacation, but soon, it felt like he was disappearing, not just from the world, but from himself. Then, one day, his neighbor mentioned a youth program at a local community center. They were looking for volunteers to teach kids basic engineering, projects building bridges, small machines, even just using tools. George was skeptical. "It's been too long," he said. But something inside told him tree. And when he died, everything changed. He saw the way the kids lit up when something worked. He felt that old spark return. He had a reason to get up, get dressed, show up. George didn't just find something to do. He found purpose. And that, my friend, is everything. Purpose isn't just a nice idea. It's fuel. It gives your life direction, energy, and joy. It fights depression. It boosts health. It keeps your mind and spirit alive. And the best part? Your purpose doesn't have to be big. It doesn't need applause or recognition. It just needs to be yours. Maybe it's tending your garden, writing your story, volunteering once a week, painting, mentoring, traveling to one place on your bucket list, or simply waking up each morning with a small goal. I'll walk around the block. I'll call an old friend. I'll learn something new. Purpose isn't about filling your calendar. It's about filling your heart. And here we believe that no matter your age, your story isn't done. You still have chapters to write, moments to shape. You don't need anyone to hand you meaning. You already have it inside. So, what's one thing you've always loved? Or something you've always wanted to try? Let us know in the comments. Maybe you'll inspire someone else. And if this message stirred something in you, follow Elderly Active Living. We're here to remind you that retirement isn't an end. It's a beautiful beginning. Part 5. Emotional Resilience. The strength no one sees. Let's be honest. Just because you turn 60 doesn't mean life gets easier. In fact, in many ways, it gets harder. You say goodbye to people you love. Your health shifts. Loneliness creeps in. And sometimes grief walks in without knocking. This is the part of aging no one talks about enough. The emotional weight. And while your family may care deeply, they can't carry that pain for you. They can't crawl inside your heart and stitch it back together. That's something only you can do. Helen knows this all too well. She was 75 when she lost her husband of over 40 years. He wasn't just her partner. He was her rhythm, her comfort, her everyday. The silence after he passed was unbearable. At first, she leaned on her children. They were loving, supportive. But they had jobs, families, lives to return to. And Helen realized no one could fill the space he left. But that didn't mean she had to stay broken. So, she began, one small step at a time. She joined a local support group. She wrote in a journal each morning just 5 minutes. She practiced gratitude, even when the only thing she could write down was, "I woke up." And something began to shift. Not overnight, but slowly, Helen rebuilt herself, not into the person she was before, but into someone stronger, wiser, more at peace. That, my friend, is emotional resilience. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff. It's about facing it head on, letting it wash over you, and still standing. You don't need to be unshakable. You just need to keep going. Maybe that means joining a grief circle. Maybe it's talking to someone you trust. Maybe it's finding quiet rituals that ground you. A walk, a prayer, a letter you never send. And maybe, some days, it just means reminding yourself, "I've survived every hard day so far. I can handle this one too." We believe your spirit matters as much as your body. That your emotional strength is one of the most powerful supports you'll ever build. It doesn't live in noise or display. It lives in quiet courage, in tears cried alone, in the decision to try again. If this part spoke to you, drop a 5 in the comments. And follow us here at Elderly Active Living. We'll walk with you through the highs and the healing. Because resilience isn't a personality trait, it's a muscle. And you, dear friend, are stronger than you think. Part 6. Adaptability, the hidden superpower. After 60, there's one thing you can absolutely count on after 60. Change. Sometimes gentle. Sometimes like a storm. Friends move away. Loved ones pass. The routines that once shaped your days, they begin to shift or disappear altogether. And the truth is, those who cling tightly to how things used to be often struggle the most. But those who adapt, they grow, they thrive. They keep discovering new parts of life even in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. Let me tell you about Frank. He's 78. Used to be a real people person. Loved his weekly poker nights, Sunday lunches, front porch chats. But one by one, his old friends moved. Some passed away. And suddenly, the silence felt louder than ever. Part 7. Your daily routines, the structure that holds you together. It may sound simple, but having steady daily routines after 60 is one of the most overlooked pillars of strength. When we were younger, life gave us structure work schedules, raising children, commitments everywhere. But after retirement, all of that fades. Days begin to blur, time loses shape, and with that, so does our motivation. But here's the truth. Routines give your day rhythm. They anchor your thoughts. They keep your mind engaged and your body moving. When you wake up at the same time, have a morning walk, prepare a simple breakfast, take your vitamins, and maybe even set aside time to read or call a friend, you're doing more than just passing the day. You're setting a foundation that says, I am still in charge. Let me tell you about Doris. She's 79, widowed, lives alone. At first, her days felt endless. But then she created a simple routine: a tea at 7, a crossword at 8, gardening by 10, lunch with classical music, a daily journal in the afternoon. She started feeling more focused, more alive. Studies show that consistent routines improve sleep, reduce anxiety, and even enhance memory in older adults. Why? Because the body craves predictability, especially in a world that can feel so uncertain. Your routines don't need to be rigid, they just need to serve you. So ask yourself, what's one small thing you can do every day that gives you energy? What habit makes you feel accomplished? And if you haven't yet, create your rhythm. Because routine isn't boring, it's your way of saying, I am still here, and I'm still building my life. We believe that every sunrise is a chance to begin again. Part 8. Your ability to say no. The quiet power of boundaries. After 60, something magical can happen. You finally realize that your time is precious. And with that realization comes one of the strongest pillars of self-protection, the ability to say no. Not out of rudeness, not out of selfishness, but from wisdom. Saying no to invitations that drain you, to family drama that leaves you anxious, to obligations that don't align with your well-being. You begin to understand that boundaries are not walls, they are doors you open only for peace, joy, and mutual respect. Let me introduce you to Bill, 76. For decades, he was the yes man. Every favor, every errand, every request did it, until his doctor told him his stress levels were sky high. That's when Bill made a change. He started saying no, gently but firmly. And guess what? The people who truly loved him understood, and those who didn't, they learned. Setting boundaries gave Bill his energy back. It gave him clarity. It gave him the space to focus on what truly matters: his health, his hobbies, his peace. As we age, protecting our emotional space is just as important as protecting our body. So ask yourself, what are you tolerating that no longer serves you? And what would your days feel like if you gave yourself permission to say no? We champion your right to live on your own terms, because after 60, the most powerful thing you can do is to guard your joy. Frank could have stayed stuck in that silence. He almost did, but then he got curious. He asked his grandson to teach him how to use video calling, started joining online chats for older adults, found a group of fellow veterans in a Facebook community, and week by week, a new chapter unfolded. He made new friends, had conversations again, laughed again. Was it the same as before? No, but it was good, and it kept him moving forward. Adaptability doesn't mean throwing away the past. It means honoring the past while being brave enough to try something new. It could be something as simple as learning to order groceries online, or swapping your morning newspaper for a tablet. It could be exploring a hobby you always put off: painting, photography, storytelling, bird watching. You are never too old to change. And change doesn't mean losing who you are. It means expanding who you can become. We believe adaptability is your hidden superpower. It's not flashy, but it's what keeps you learning, laughing, living. So here's your gentle nudge. Is there something you've been resisting lately? A new device? A different routine? An invitation to try something new? What if, just what if, that change could open a door you didn't know was waiting? Tap into your courage. You've adapted to life before. You can do it again. And if you believe in staying open, curious, and engaged, hit that follow button and share this video with someone who needs that reminder today. Change isn't something to fear, it's something to dance with. And you, my friend, still have plenty of dance left in you. True strength comes from within. By the time you reach 60 or 70, or even 80, you begin to understand something profound. The people around you may care deeply, but the strength that carries you forward, it lives within you. Yes, family is important. Their love, their presence, it matters. But real security, real peace, and real freedom, those come from the pillars you build for yourself. Let's take a moment to remember what those 8 pillars are. Your financial independence gives you the freedom to live on your own terms, without relying on others. Your physical health keeps you capable, mobile, and confident in your body. Your social connections remind you that you're not alone and that joy can come from even the smallest conversations. Your sense of purpose gives meaning to each day, long after retirement. Your emotional resilience helps you heal, grow, and keep moving when life gets hard. Your ability to adapt ensures that change doesn't shake you, strengthens you. Your daily routines offer structure, comfort, and momentum. And your boundaries, your ability to say no, protect your peace and preserve your energy. These aren't just habits, they are your foundation. And the beauty of these pillars, you can start building or reinforcing them at any age. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to take one step at a time toward a life that supports you. Because the truth is this: when you've built these 8 pillars strong, you will never feel powerless. You won't be waiting for others to rescue you. You won't feel left behind. Instead, you'll stand tall, steady, proud, and fully in charge of your own story. And if this video spoke to you today, if something in your heart said, "Yes, this is what I've been needing," then do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button, share this with someone who needs encouragement. And follow us here at Elderly Active Living, where every video is made with you in mind: your well-being, your independence, your joy. Because aging doesn't mean fading. It means becoming wiser, stronger, and more you than ever before. We'll see you in the next video.